Hello YouTube, today we got a Dell Latitude 7250. Now we do power jack repairs on the laptops, so if your jack right here is broken, if you had to jiggle it, you can send it to us, we can fix it. In this particular case, it's not the jack, probably not the jack. I will gonna take a look, but the client sent it to us to see if we can, if he was thinking it's the jack, but it's not the jack. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, the light right here is on. Once we plug it into the laptop, you see the light went out. If the light goes out once you plug in the power supply into the laptop, that means a shortage on the motherboard. And if that's the case, don't send us the laptop because it's a shortage on the motherboard, and nobody in the United States, maybe except us and maybe one or two other shops that get that by accident, are going to look at them. So I'm gonna look at it because it's already here and I got time. Probably not gonna be able to figure out what the problem is, but I will show you my way of thought how the things are. So 2 rear screws. So maybe it's going to be a guide on how to disassemble this laptop, not how to fix it, but how to disassemble it to replace the motherboard or whatever else. So the battery was out, so it's not the battery. If it plugs in and the battery is out and the light goes out, that means it's not the battery. That means the board has an issue or something on the motherboard has an issue. So let's unscrew all of the screws around here. Let me change the camera angle so you would see better because it's a black surface. So here. My take, it's a waste of time, but yeah, since it's already here, some people are gonna tell me that, oh, if you use an infrared camera, you will see where the damage is at. No, you won't. And if you put the voltage through the motherboard, it's always gonna show you that one of the MOSFETs is bad, but the MOSFETs almost never go bad. Alright, so here's something questionable. The questionable part is right here, you see. For some reason, this cable... I think the client already screwed around with it. So he tried to remove it and put it back in. And it didn't get put in properly. So yeah, somebody already screwed around. This should be plugged in all the way in order for everything to work, but oh well, strange. That's really strange. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So we unscrewed this solid state drive. Okay, we got another screw under it. Alrighty. Unscrew the wireless card, and somebody already screwed around with that cable right there. I need to kind of get this guy out and about, like that, like that, like that, and like that. Wonderful. Another screw right here. I think laptop is shorted because that cable was at an angle. Quite possibly, because you would get a spark if something like that is at an angle. So see if your cable is at an angle or not. I mean, it's nice to say after the fact that that's the reason why, but yeah, let's keep going, see if I would be able to find anything that's worth talking about. Oh wow, really nice laptop. i7, wow, interesting. So here, good job. Where is my favorite tool in the world? Okay, so right here there should be, so you don't have too much glare, 1, 2 places where you can shove in your pick, and try and raise the keyboard, or maybe not. Yeah, that's a strange design. I'm sure I have a video of how to take it apart already online, and that's probably the reason why the client sent it our way. Let me see. Let's see if we can just remove this piece as well, right here. I wonder if I just take off the casing. Some of you would say, well, read the manual. Well, if you're gonna find the manual, great. If you do 10 of those a day, then there is no time to read the manual for every laptop you take apart. So here I might wanna disconnect this cable and that cable, just in case. All right, and yeah, let's see. There is nothing here. Yeah, the keyboard is right there. Right here is the keyboard. So let me try and open it up without taking the keyboard off. Maybe the shell gonna come off, the top or the bottom shell. All right, so let's see. I mean, usually you have to remove the keyboard, but here again I see how far this cable is at. And I think if I'm gonna be trying to remove the keyboard, something gonna break. Alrighty. I wonder why did it switch to the other camera. Anyways, had a phone call. And I had to take a look at my other video for that Dell Latitude that also shorted out. And the problem is, I had to see how to take the keyboard off. Turns out that this nut right here, this nut, you have to pry it up carefully from all the sides. So from here, from here, from here, from here, from here, and from the inside as well. Like you have to press the button, lift it up here, lift it up right there. Let me show you a little bit closer how everything looks like. So you go in, lift it up here slightly, and I will show you what I mean. There are balls right there. You see those balls? 1 ball, 2 ball, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 6, 7 bolts. And they grab onto those sockets right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you see all those guys also grabbing onto the surface. So this is really tricky, and this is the first time I see something. Not the first time, I just saw it on my other video, but that video was made like a couple years back. So here we got 1 screw, 2 screw, 3, 4, 5, and I ran out of spaces where to put all the screws at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try and see if we can lift this guy up. Probably from this end, because there are clips right here. 2 clips. Let me show you. So let's try and lift this guy up. Doesn't want to go up because of this bracket right here, like that. Alright, so we got this side up. I want to put the glasses on just in case something gonna fly into my face. So let's I never seen a design. I mean, I seen it before, but God, this is just insanely complicated keyboard design. All right. Shit. Okay, like that. Let's put a guitar pick in there. Like that. And come on. Shit. Okay. So that's the reason I had to disconnect those two cables on the bottom. All right, good job. So that's the most complicated process there was. Hopefully I described it to you in detail. And we lost focus. Okay. So here we have a hinge that we unplug this way. Like that. Remove this cable. Another hinge where we need to guide like that. Alright, and now we just unscrew everything here. Alrighty, good job. And now the cover comes off by itself. Good job. Okay. So what we want to do now is see if the light still goes out on the power supply. So we see that this guy has a light. Plug it in here someplace. And so magic, take a look. The light goes out. Okay. So the light does go out. And we have to take everything apart completely. So let's see how it's gonna be happening. Now here we got the VGA cable. We disconnect the VGA cable. All right. Here we got the cable for the power jack. All right. All right. So that's out. Like that, like that, like that. And we have to disconnect the battery. Probably here. Alright, so like that. And disconnect the battery like that. Alright. Good? Good. Alright, so the next thing we do is this. Okay. One. Oh, come on. All right, so we need to rotate this hinge outward. Again, this is probably not the repair video, it's probably how to take the system apart without damaging anything. So, yeah, like that. Ah, okay, good job. So let's take it off of the board. Well, yeah, we need to all right. So that's how you take the screen off, like that. And we got some cable jammed under there. And then, this is the cable right here. Yeah. Alright, so is there a way to guide it through? Yeah, there is a way to guide it through. So like that. And like that. I don't need to take it all the way out completely because I have an access to everything I need to have an access to. Such a small laptop, but so many screws. I mean, unbelievable. And we got another one right here. Okay. Remove the bracket. Remove the jack. Okay. Jack is removed. Here we need to disconnect this guy like that. And these speaker cables. I usually break my nails on those. Let's find the second screwdriver. So it's been over half an hour and we still didn't get to the source of the problem yet. Okay. Get it up. There's one screw right there. Okay. Good job. Let's see if we can remove this. Remove that. So this is supposed to lift up. This is the first side to lift. This part right here prohibits the lifting of the board. I can't lift it from this side because there is the sound card in there, and this jack is part of the inside. So how would I? Is there any way to remove the? Yeah, like that. Okay. All right. Finally. All right, so let's set this whole thing aside. Well, that's not really aside. Let's set it all the way aside. Where is the jack at? Okay. So jack is right here. We put the jack. Well, first of all, see if it's the jack that causes the issue. So we power up the supply, right? There is a light. Plug it in, you see? Everything is good. Meaning it's not the jack that causes the issue. We plug it in here, all the way. Plug it in, the light goes out. So it's the board. Okay. Okay, so keep that on the power supply. Let's see if you can see anything right away. Oh, okay, so that's your problem right here, probably. What's this metal piece doing under here? Causing a short, probably, right? Okay, so let's cut this thing here. Yep. Well, let's see like that. Okay. All right, so that's the negative part, right? Right. That's the positive part. And so far everything shows everything is good. Yeah. Here there are no issues. Right, I want to try and see maybe one more time we're gonna put it in. Still goes out. Okay. So it seems like the shortage is someplace down the highway, so to speak, because down the road. What I'm checking is those yellow bricks. Let me show you a bit closer. The yellow bricks are capacitors, so this is a capacitor right here. So I'm checking if they have resistance, and so far everyone has a resistance of some sort. Not like ideal resistance, but good enough. I know I should have a digital voltmeter outputting something on the screen, but I still use an analog voltmeter because it just does a job for me. Oh, here you are. Hold on. And right here. So here's how we look for a short. Let's say this is the capacitor right here, right? Come on, stable. So let's take the, you see, we got resistance of whatever ohms, right? It's not like that, it's not zero. But here we get 0. And here we get 0. And here we get 0. And now there's a fine, you see, those don't show us zeros. That's not a 0. So something right here, you see, so 0, 0, 0, no, no, no. Okay, so we pretty much pinpointed it down to right here. All the 3 components are showing zeros. All right. And we got another component here on the top and 3 components right there. And they are close to MOSFETs right here, meaning someplace somewhere here is where the shortage is at. I want to just do a sneak peek right here. So again, if you look at the resistors right, the capacitors right here, that's not a 0, that's not 0, that's not a 0. There's no capacitors there, so that should be fine. And there's no capacitor. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let's see if I can. Would I be able to? Well, let's not touch this thing for right now. What I want to do is I want to lift up this part right here up to right here and slightly bend it so it would be on the side. So right here, what we got? No, this one is fine, and it's not zero either. This is not zero. Oh, this one is zero. Okay, so it could be this capacitor. How about those two right there? No, yeah, no, hard to reach them. So you see the reason why nobody bothers with fixing those, because nobody knows what the problem is. It could be a capacitor on this side. But so far I only pinpointed it down to 3 right here and 1 right there. And everybody else around seems alright. So what we're gonna do when we come for you is we gonna try. I'm not sure if I should start with this top one, because this top one is the single one, and the single one has a tendency to break more often than the 3 in a row. And or it could be one of the smaller ones right there. And the smaller one's also showing the zeros. Yep. Could be basically one of those 3s. Could it be this one? Nope. How about this one? Nope. So we got 1, 2, 3 that are showing me a short. Again, if one of them is shorting, all of them are shorting on the same grid. So what am I to do? The easiest way is remove the bottom ones, because this is a bit more complicated. So the easiest way is to leave this guy, that guy, and that guy. That's going to be much easier. So yeah, let's do it. All right, so technically speaking, we can put 19 volts through and just increase the amperage little by little here, but it will give me that either this guy is getting hot or those 3 are getting hot, because that's where the short is at. So all 4 are going to be getting hot. That's my take on it. But from my experience, I think it's the one right there that went bad. But I want to try and start with these guys. Hopefully they are the ones that are faulty, but that's a slim chance. So let's switch to the microscope. That's how the setup looks like. And this camera just pisses me off because it keeps zooming all the time. Not zooming, but after focusing, because there's a silver reflection from the... This is the one? Nope. Wrong one. How about this one? And that's the one. Let me kill the autofocus on that. Alright, so let's switch to the microscope. I'm just trying to visually inspect. Maybe there's gonna be some damage. So we are looking now at this guy right here. Where did this come from? Okay, so now let's measure the voltage on this capacitor. And that capacitor is good. Alright, so that was a good capacitor. We have 3 connectors right here which we want to take down. And 3 capacitors right here. Alright, so this capacitor right here, the first one, is the one that's faulty. So the bad one we take out. The good ones we mount back. There's just no space here, guys. So we're going to do it here. And I need a smaller soldering iron to heat up, so hold on. Alright, so we found one capacitor that's bad for sure, and that was the one on the left side. Here on the picture you see the one in the middle I'm trying to mount back on. The next one is going to be mounted, but the one to the left of that was faulty one. So I'm heating up a smaller soldering iron to solder everything back up. Such a pain in the butt. Okay, so let's put some flux around the connections. Let's run this in place. Nope. Alright. Doesn't want it. Just to prove the point, take a look. Like that. You see the light stays on, meaning there is no more shortage on the motherboard. And we got this light here on the motherboard as well. But we still have another capacitor to solder, so it might take a while, but here. If only I could find where I put where that where I desoldered that capacitor from. Not on the other side. Hold on, yeah, right here. Yep, okay. Someplace here, right? Okay. On the other side. There. Alright, so here's the capacitor. Alright, so like that. Oh shoot. Blown away on the hot air. No. It's painful to watch, honestly, because it's just not the way it's supposed to be. And I got my fingers. All right, so to sum things up, the problem wasn't on the capacitor on the top. The problem was on the capacitor on the bottom. I'm just cleaned everything around here. Make sure nothing gonna be left behind. All right, so that's good. So the one on the bottom was the farthest one in there. So here, this was the guy right here, this one. So for a job like that, it's definitely doesn't cost $100. But for this client, it's gonna be $100 because he was thinking it's gonna be $100. I don't know how much to charge for this kind of job. I just don't want to do it. In the amount of time I spent working on this laptop, I could have done 3 or 4 laptops. So yeah. But if you got exactly the same model, exactly the same problem, when you're sending this thing to us, make a note saying that we have a video of how we fixed it online, and refer to this link, because we got 1,000+ videos, and it's hard to troubleshoot the same problem over and over again. So let me show you again one more time that everything does work. So here, light, and we got light right there, and the light right there someplace. So everything works. Okay. What I want to figure out is why is this cable is like that at an angle. I mean, I understand why, it just cables are too close together. That's my take. So let's try and see if I can do anything about it. But yeah, so in 99% of the time, not 99, in 90% of the time, it's one of those capacitors that goes out, and it's really hard to find which one. Sometimes you could put a current through it, but if you got all of them in a row, it's so. I mean, some places might be able to fix it, but I don't know. Might. I don't know a single place that. I mean, in theory, you can't really. The theoretical thing is plug in the power supply, see if it's not the power supply, the regulated power supply. Connect it, see where the most amp is being drawn to, and that's going to be a problem. But in this case, you would have 4 episodes of amps being drawn, and I'm pretty sure one of those guys would not work as well. So here, I want to see if maybe if I straighten the cables out slightly, maybe the whole thing gonna be much more extendable. So let me break that magnet right there, because it's also adds space to the whole situation. Now while breaking that, I don't want to break the pliers, because those pliers are only for. Alright, so break the magnet. Now we're gonna have straight cables that go directly into the motherboard, so something like that, right? More room. Okay. Anyway, so the rest of it is just putting it all back together. Let's see. This guy is an installation that didn't really help in any way. So it goes like that. Oh no, that did help. So that insulation is the proper insulation. Here we have the other type insulation. Okay. Need to clean the CPU. Alright guys, the repair took about an hour and 20 to find the shortage. It will take me another 30-40 minutes to put it all back together. It's 8 p.m. here, so I have to go. If you got to this point, the reversal to put it all back together is just reverse steps, nothing complicated. I'm pretty sure nobody gonna watch past the an hour and 22 minutes, alright? So again, if you got exactly the same problem on exactly the same laptop, send it away. I will fix it up. I know what to look for, same price. If you got another laptop with the same problem, I don't really want to work for $100. By the way, $100 includes the shipping back to you. So it's gonna be after PayPal fees, after mailing fees, it's gonna be like $65-70. So it's like $20 an hour. I could go do pizza delivery for the same amount of money. So, or Uber. Thanks so much, and you guys have a good day. Leave a like. Thanks. Bye.